It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad. I don't know if I've told you, but I've never seen this movie before.
You know what? Just recently you told me that.
I did just recently tell you that, huh?
Yeah.
Literally right before we started recording.
Yeah.
Wow, my short-term memory. I have short-term memory loss. I thought I never told you.
You just told me that like 5-10 minutes ago.
Okay, so I've never seen this movie. You've seen this plenty of times.
It's in the regular every year. It's been in our like since 2004. We've watched it every year in my house.
Even off season, you watch this?
I have.
So why is it this movie? Like, what about this movie do you have an affinity toward? Why is it that movie?
I just think it's fun and like kind of like we were discussing before. It's a really original story. It's not like anything. It's not like kind of like it's not like based on Scrooged or based on, Love Actually or something. Like it's just its own thing.
Yeah.
And it's great. They do a great job of, building a world and living in it.
I was anticipating, because this is a slapsticky type of comedy.
It gets to this.
But like not as much slapstick as I was expecting. And way better acting than I was expecting.
It's actually really fun, right? Like if you think too hard, just like about any movie, you start to find the holes in it. But also like from the first second, it hits the ground running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because okay, let's get into the movie. Let's welcome the Baddies.
Hello, Baddies.
Baddies, we're here for another Christmas week. We're watching another Christmas movie for you. And so welcome to another episode of ICBTB Podcast.
My name is Alejandro.
And my name is Christian.
And today we are defending the movie Christmas with the Kranks.
So you were telling me right before the episode started that some people get this mixed up with Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito and...
I think because they both came out around the same time. They're both fairly like low-ish. Well, not that one, but they're fairly like low-budget films that didn't do too hot. But like there's a crew of people who like, I'm sure there is, love Deck the Halls. And there's a crew of people who love
this
Kranks.
movie.
Yeah.
So... I told you,
I'm shortening it to Kranks.
Wait, what?
I'm shortening the movie title to Kranks.
Just to Kranks? No, because there's already movies called Crank.
Oh, yeah!
Those movies are dope.
With Jason Statham.
I think we should eventually do those movies.
Is that a Christmas movie?
No, not Christmas movies at all.
Fuck.
But we have the rest of, ICBTB to do it, so.
No, never again. Anyways.
I used to mix up. I thought this was Deck the Halls. At least the concept. I was
similar.
like, when are they going to get into the whole Christmas feel? Because this is quite the opposite.
You're like, where is Danny DeVito?
I thought he's in here.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, but...
Just Dan Akroyd.
Which I'm upset he's not in the movie that much.
Yeah, I would have liked a Vic Frohmeyer movie.
Oh, a little spin-off?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, I'm not mad at it.
I'm also, and we will get there, I love aggressive singing of Jingle Bells.
That gets faster with key changes.
And they're getting he's getting really like into it, and they're like,
yeah. Real quick, this movie is about one death away from being a horror movie.
Oh,
it is scary.
How many callbacks to the Halloween franchise did you see in this film? Because we saw at least 3.
I saw at least 3 Halloween callbacks. I saw at least 5 Children of the Corn callbacks. Because this entire neighborhood is batshit crazy.
And yes, we'll get into it because I have a lot to say about this neighborhood. We watched
Christmas with the
con
Kranks.
el Krankas.
Con el Krankas. Krankas.
Krankas.
Con los Krankas, right?
Con los Krankas, yeah.
Right?
Christmas con los Krankas.
There you go.
We watched Christmas with the Kranks. It was released in the year 2004 and has a rating of PG. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes or 99 minutes, which is just 1 minute less than a really expensive movie.
I don't think that changes the budget whatsoever.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey guys, stop rolling. We
we're over budget.
1 more minute, and the budget increases by $100,000. So stop it. Make cuts.
Turn that camera off. Turn that camera off. It had a 5.4 out of 10 on the IMDb. Like Christian says, a 5% on the Rotten Tomatoes, and here we go, a 22% on Metacritic. That seems about right.
Yeah, I would say in the 20s is what this deserves.
Snaps is coming at you.
Right at you.
Finally alone for the holidays, Luther and Nora Krank plan to eschew? You know what that word means?
Is it ESKEW?
ESCHEW. Eschew.
I don't know. Maybe probably just like not do it. If I'm going to guess from the plot that I know from this movie, they're going to skip Christmas.
Okay, let me start this all over again.
Go ahead.
Finally, alone for the holidays, Luther and Nora Krank plan to escape the Christmas traditions and take a cruise in the Caribbean instead. It doesn't sit well at all with their Christmas-obsessed neighbors, Vic Frohmeyer and Walt Schleel. It's a horrible last name. Who are determined to win the annual Best Decorated Street. Oh!
What? Are you having...
the Best Decorated Street. That's why they're so obsessed with him doing it.
Yeah, because they came in 6th in the competition.
Okay. And the Kranks soon find themselves as social outcasts because of their lack of Christmas spirit. Honestly, no problem with them skipping Christmas. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
The fact that they're saving $3,000 is actually an incredible save. But put fucking Frosty up.
At least that.
Right? Like, didn't the neighbors across the street decorate their whole house and then leave for Christmas anyways?
Okay, there are different ways to take this movie. You could choose different sides. This is a very divisive movie.
It's a very quintessential suburban white people problem movie.
Yeah.
Like, this whole movie, first of all, there's like 3 black guys in the whole movie. 2 of them are working retail jobs.
No one mentions racism.
No.
World hunger.
Nope.
Poverty.
The biggest problem in this world right now is getting Frosty on the roof.
Yeah. To the point where all these white families, just an angry mob outside of their house.
The carolers are angry.
Yeah. Everyone should be happy. They all have 2-story homes.
Huge houses.
That they own.
Decorate.
That they probably have paid off the mortgage on.
I would imagine in this neighborhood.
Because Tim Allen's the boss of some company where he looks really important.
Yeah.
Right? They have a beautiful daughter who's part of the Peace Corps going to a rainforest.
Which is cool. I mean, I was trying to figure out how old she's got to be, like, what, 21, 22?
I think she's 23. I think they
she graduated
probably said
college,
at some point. Yeah.
right? And
she went to, like, Brown University. Very prestigious.
It's not Ball State.
Hey, if we're going to speculate to that extent, then maybe they do have a problem.
I have big problems.
But
I need to talk to somebody. No, let's just jump into it. Do you want to know the budget of this film at all? Is that something that you're interested in knowing?
I mean, that's what the show's kind of about, so let's get into it.
Welcome to It Can't Be That Budget. $60 million to make.
60 mil?
60 mil.
Okay, I think it made $40 million.
Whoa.
I don't think it made its money back.
It made $96.6 million.
Well, egg on my face. I'm wrong.
I'll take care of it later, buddy. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, one of my go-to Christmas films. It's a standard in the Middleton household. We love this film. We have some problems with Tim Allen, but who doesn't?
Yeah.
But I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
And
Big fan.
And I love Felicity Hoffman.
Yeah. Who's Felicity Hoffman in this one?
I believe she's one of the moms. She's
the mom friend of Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then Dan Akroyd,
of course,
who steals the show.
And then Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle is Dan Aykroyd's son, Spike.
And Rickety Cricket, I was telling you earlier.
That's right.
What was your favorite and least favorite part?
My favorite, wow, we're going to jump into it already. My favorite part easily was the end when he's talking.
Okay, then hang on. You're right. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's a heavy question that you're going to ask at the beginning.
Sorry. Okay, we'll ask you at the end of the episode.
Okay.
So, like we said earlier, Blair is their daughter. She's in her early 20s. Yeah. She's on her way to the Peace Corps, which is like, how do we spread the colonist agenda in a better way? So we just got to get all of our people in the rainforests, right?
That's what they did.
And the Peace Corps, what a lot of people don't know is they're trying to unset peace. Yeah, they go in there and they just like...
So you think that she's going there to fuck shit up?
She went there to set up a coup.
Whoa.
Yeah, a violent military coup in Peru.
That's right. We didn't get to see what happened during that month that she spent in the rainforest in Peru.
Okay, I was going to say, when she does come back, she has 2 layovers. What a shitty flight plan.
Oh, yeah, horrible. But she 2 layovers, but still gets home early.
Yeah. It's like,
doesn't make any sense.
The airlines doesn't work like that.
I'm upset about this new boy that she's taking home and marrying after meeting him for... Well, no, they've known each other in college.
Yes.
Okay, this is where the future protective dad in me comes in. When she calls... To surprise them, hey, I'm coming home for the holidays and I'm bringing my new boyfriend, Enrique. He is all up on her during that phone call.
Yeah, he's very physical.
Yeah.
Latin lovers tend to be pretty physical like that in movies. Like, that seems to be something they always do.
But she's on the phone with her parents. Like, this is a rated PG film. I'm not trying to see Enrique get up on Blair like that.
I kind of am.
I'm probably just jealous.
So, we kind of buried the lead here, but it's okay. Blair leaves for the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
And in lieu of Nora and Tim Allen.
Yeah, Luther.
Decide to, like we said, skip Christmas. He sees an ad for a cruise when he's going into the store in the pouring rain, which is also a great scene. I love the scene with the Santa Claus umbrella salesman.
And he has to ask the butcher where the white chocolate is.
Well, and that's such a funny thing to me because kind of like with me and Karen, that's exactly what would happen. I'd be like, oh, they're out of chocolate. I didn't get any of it. She's like, well, why didn't you ask?
Why didn't you ask Rex, the butcher?
What the fuck would I ask the butcher? But
that's when it starts getting slapsticky. So
because he knocks the bowl out of the way and then gets covered.
Yeah. I didn't expect for this movie to start the way it did. It was very heartfelt. They were dropping off Blair at the airport, and like the acting chops were like pretty decent. And then it's not until he gets into the rain, gets drenched, and then like it starts getting sillier and sillier. But like the balance of like comedy and it still being somewhat
Heartfelt.
grounded.
Yeah.
Pretty good, dude.
I wouldn't even, and I hate to disagree with you because just generally I don't want to, but I don't even think it's all that slapsticky because none of the jokes in this movie are unbelievable except for the robber who convinces Dewey to let him out.
Yeah.
That's the only, but whatever, like fine, yeah, sure. Everything else is fairly believable.
Dewey is straight up just Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
He 100% is.
Because Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle would talk to a person in the back of a police car.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you got 20 minutes. You swore on your kids' lives. Don't fuck shit up inside the house.
Did he say he wasn't trespassing? Because we have the keys.
Yeah.
Like,
this fucking kid.
So they decide to skip Christmas, which is great. I think that's an awesome idea, especially because their Christmas cost them only $6,100. And it wasn't until I started watching this movie that I realized how fucking expensive Christmas must be for parents.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got the whole decorations shit. You got the gift shit. You got the light bill from all the decorations. You got the decorations bill. They do donations every year. They get Christmas cards every year.
They really go above and beyond. And this movie really started ramping up for me once you saw the reactions of all everyone the townspeople.
Yeah.
The guy that's at the card store that sees Jamie Lee Curtis through a window, chases her to the restaurant where she's about to have brunch with her girls.
And like sits at a table away from them just to like put her shit on blast in front of all of her friends. And one of her friends is the aunt from Sabrina.
Yes, that's where I know her from. So
that's also Bev's daughter. Did you catch that?
Wait.
The neighbor, Bev, and the one who's really mean to them?
Bev and Walt?
Yeah, that's her daughter.
Oh.
Because I don't know if you caught that when they were doing food for the homeless, she was like, Bev says the cancer's back, and it's like she's really upset because Bev's her mom.
That's her mom.
Yeah, they should be over there at Christmas, honestly. Like,
yeah, how come it was just Bev and Walt were by themselves?
Same town.
That's fucked up.
I've been sitting on this fact, and it's actually burning a hole in my pocket. I want to tell you something. You know what this movie does hold the record for, or did for at least 5 years?
What?
It was the most expensive set ever constructed for a movie.
I don't understand. It's just basically a street on a neighborhood. Is it because they had to pay off all the families that lived in those homes?
It's because they built that street. They built
what, 47 homes?
No, they built like 6 homes.
On a street?
They built like 6 homes on a street.
And digitally replicated
and
them?
And added more, in post-production.
Dope.
The only house that I believe was a fully built house for the most part was Luther's house.
Of course.
And then
Walt's home, which is right across the street?
Only had a first floor.
Ah.
And then everything else was just facades.
That's the smart way to do it, but still really expensive.
Oh, incredibly expensive. What I had read, and this was research I did before we had a podcast, was that they searched all over America for the perfect street that they wanted to film on, and they couldn't find what they were looking for. So they're just like, fuck it, we'll make it. And that's where most of their budget was blown on.
Was just searching for the perfect street?
No, building this fake street.
They sent helicopters and search parties, and they never found it.
That money could have gone to help finding lost kids, but no, they're here for a Christmas house.
They put missing signs on telephone poles.
It was difficult because they had to look only in December, right? And they've been trying to make this movie for years.
That's true. They just keep going over and over and over.
This movie is based on a book. I'm not sure if we're going to keep this part in, but it's a John Grisham novel.
Yeah.
Who I was telling you this isn't a traditional John Grisham book. Like, he does The Firm, and he does, like, I think Minority Part was his as well. Like, he does, like, really intense dramas. But then every once in a while, like I was telling you, he does, like, a book about a guy who goes to Italy to play football.
He
has
to take a break. That's like Adele coming out with a happy song every once in a while. It's just like, that's what he's basically doing with this movie.
I would love for Adele to come out with a rap album.
I don't. I'm okay.
So Blair ends up coming home.
Yeah.
And they've scrapped Christmas. Mm-hmm. They've already told everybody from the stationery store guy to their friends to their neighbors, we're not doing Christmas. Here's the one thorn in my side.
Okay.
Why does Tim Allen have this total boycott of Christmas? I do love how a man of principles he is, though. As soon as he says, hey, no, it's a total boycott. Like, he legitimately means total boycott.
This is what I'm saying.
Which I got to give him props for that.
You could watch this movie and choose different sides. Like, there's a way to look at it. Yes, we can respect him for boycotting it, but why can't he still go on the cruise and put up his Christmas lights that he already has, the frosty that he already has?
Agreed.
And, just spend $90 on a Christmas tree, put it in the home for a little bit.
I don't even think he needs the Christmas tree.
But to
just do the outside.
He has to pacify some of these angry neighbors a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because right now, let's tally it up. They're spending $3,000 on the cruise.
Which, all inclusive. That's a great price.
Fucking great, dude. Well, that's because they're leaving on December 25th. Ain't nobody traveling on that day.
Honestly?
What?
Great idea to do a cruise on Christmas.
He wasn't really selling the idea super well to
Jamie?
To Nora. Yeah, to Jamie Lee Curtis. He was saying like,
you should have snooped her first and then tell her about it.
Because the sentence saying yes, because she was getting ready for a PG movie. Kind of like
it is all funny because he's like, "What are you doing? Button up, sit down, button up."
Yeah, he just turns her down. Like Jamie Lee Curtis is horny throughout the entire movie and gets nothing. Nothing. It's so
typical American woman.
She's at the dinner table and she has a turtleneck with like a Christmas vest on, and she's unbuttoning the Christmas vest like she's showing any cleavage and getting ready.
It's just for easier access, bro.
It's still a turtleneck. The access is always going to be difficult. Scissors, do not cut a nice turtleneck with scissors. I have a nice collection of turtlenecks.
What? I've never fucking seen you in a turtleneck.
Oh, well, I would wear it during Christmas when I was fat.
Oh my god!
To give still have the facade, yeah.
Okay, I take it back. I've seen you in one turtleneck once. It was when you were doing the Christmas show in Discovery Kingdom.
Yeah, they forced me.
You're like wearing a blue turtleneck with a scarf, and you had like mittens on and stuff.
Black turtleneck with a scarf, and it was black mittens. Yeah. Not proud of it. Way to just like put.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was so sensitive. I really enjoyed that. You did a great job. I love when you sing Christmas songs.
Thank you.
That is your wheelhouse.
I appreciate it, but I don't like singing Christmas songs at a ghetto amusement park. I'm sorry, Discovery Kingdom, if you're listening.
The park is listening.
The CEO of the park is like, let me listen back.
Mr. Six Flags.
Mr. Six Flags himself.
That's maybe one of my favorite lame jokes is any company, just say the owner is Mr. Massage Envy.
But it's kind of like sexist. We should be thinking
Mrs. Massage Envy.
We don't even have to assume that person's married. Miss Massage Envy.
We should just call them Massage Envy.
Massage Envy. Yeah, let's not even give them a title. Anyway, let's get back to the movie.
We have lost it completely.
Oh, yeah, but anyway, they're spending $3,000 on the cruise, an extra $600 in donations.
Which is fine.
Yeah, they could spend a few more bucks to just pacify the rest of the neighbors.
For $4,000, this whole movie could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Except for when Blair calls and says they're coming home. That does really throw a wrench in there. Why can't they just tell Blair, like, hey, we didn't know you were coming home. We've already paid for a cruise. It's a non-refundable ticket that we have to go on. So you guys can have the house.
The real issue is that Jamie Lee Curtis has separation anxiety.
Ooh, bad.
Because they dropped...
Like a small chihuahua.
They dropped Blair off the day after, or the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Biggest travel day in the world.
It's been less than a month since you've seen your baby, so chill out.
It really has. It hasn't even been 3 weeks.
No, and she's freaking out. Like she's...
But think about it. If they're a house of three, they've always been a house of three since, she was a wee tyke.
Mm-hmm. And she went all the way to Peru. You're right. I'm not a parent, so I don't know.
It's apparent. So that, like we said, they do this total boycott, and I gotta give props to Tim Allen for sticking to his principles. That I'm all about, because I was even telling Karen, I was like, you gotta give him some credit for being like, no, if we're doing no Christmas, none of that shit.
Coming from a guy that had and still has difficulty saying no, Tim Allen's ability to just look Boy Scouts in the face and say, no, I'm not buying your Christmas tree, a level of respect for him.
For him to purposely sabotage Christmas carolers who are at this rate kind of stalking their home. That's an incredible move. Also setting himself up for a lawsuit, but 2004 I guess was a little bit easier. And then he's also like, he almost kills a cat because he freezes it to death outside.
Okay, yeah, that's fucked up. Okay, why does the cat magically appear wherever he's stepping? He steps on the cat's tail 20 times.
The first time he steps on the cat's tail is in front of a group of 4 girls walking to school.
And they scream. That scene is almost unnecessary. The fact that they're just like, oh fuck.
And even he's like, like he does like a scared thing. He's like, oh, whatever, fuck it, fuck this
With
guy.
all of this like silly comedy, there are pockets of really good acting
Nuggets.
from like Walt. Whenever his interactions with Walt has this very like Clint Eastwood-esque type of acting where he's not loud about it. His expressions are very subtle.
Because he's got a lot going on, bro.
Yeah,
Walt,
man.
like we find as this movie goes on, like we learn that Walt and Bev are having like a real tough time over there across the street. And the only interaction that Walt has is complaining to Vic Frohmeyer about Luther or calling Luther an old man.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what's keeping him alive.
And that's just him being playful, right?
I mean, it's a form of playful.
Like
I hope to become an old crotchety old man like that.
I think you will.
I would love to be a Walt.
You can be. If you just like find yourself a neighbor that you have that kind of dynamic with, which will be easy for you.
Hey, neighbor.
Hey, old man.
I'm going to start calling everybody younger than me old man.
Okay. That might be like
You're
a little
older than me.
confusing.
You're not going to be called it, so don't worry.
No, but I'm just trying to like imagine you in the scenario where you're calling a person younger.
Hello, old man, like a baby.
They're just like.
So Walt and Walt and Luther have this ongoing battle.
Yeah.
And Walt is adamant to let everybody know that Luther's skipping Christmas.
Yeah, man.
He tells Vic Frohmeyer. He tells him that they didn't even donate to the police. And Vic Frohmeyer's like, what the fuck? We got to get these guys on fucking board.
Gossip spreads like wildfire,
Especially in a small town. Yeah.
Yeah, when Cheech Marin, who's in this fucking movie,
One of three people of color in this film.
that's it. It's Cheech Marin.
And that role is written for a fat white guy.
Really?
I think so, because look at like the lines that he does when they catch the bad guy breaking out of the house. Why doesn't Cheech chase the guy at all? He just stands there. He's like, go get him. Go do it. Go.
Hey, it works for him because I can't imagine Cheech chasing someone in general.
Do you know who the police partner?
What about him? The younger guy?
Yeah. Do you know who he is?
No.
His first name's Jake. Do you know who his dad is?
No.
Gary Busey.
Jake Busey?
Yes.
His father's Gary Busey?
It actually looks a lot like his dad.
I could see that.
He's got the teeth.
Similar teeth is what I was going to say. Similar jaw, similar teeth, because like Gary Busey from like his like jawline down
Is a normal person.
it's no. That's his most distinctive features.
Oh, I think his eyes are pretty distinctive.
Oh, I guess, yeah,
But they're
'cause he's kinda
very,
crazy.
but they're very Gary Busey eyes.
Very fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So Cheech Marin, I liked the scene when they're trying to sell the calendar. It's just like, okay, you're gonna make your donations to this and that and this and that. Also, our calendar, which is our best seller every single Christmas year, and it's just like sexy, fully clothed pictures of the police officers.
And then they say no, and I love the cut of it. Automatically cuts right across the street to Walt and Bev's house, and they're like, they said no, huh? No. Like it's just a mass conspiracy around this entire neighborhood that they're not. It's like it rocks this neighborhood to the core.
It's fucking terrifying. They can't go out in public without being stared down.
So they have like a mob in front of their house at one time demanding for Frosty.
Free Frosty, free Frosty, free Frosty.
Children, adults.
To the point where like
That's all the people that were-
yeah, dude. There's, what else? Old people. Those are the two main types of age groups in this movie: children, adults, no babies because the babies
It's
are
really
at home.
cold. It's a winter.
But to the point where Luther and Nora are hiding behind the curtains.
Oh, and he's like, this isn't a joke. This is SEAL stuff. I saw it on the Discovery Channel. One of my favorite lines.
Yes.
When they're crawling around, and he's like, this isn't a joke.
I liked how flirty that was because like even that was somewhat grounded. Like it was unbelievable when they were doing like that undercover like SEAL stuff. But then Jamie Lee Curtis says, "This is fun," and it's just like, this is a fun thing
It's
for a couple
silly.
to do.
Yeah, totally. We could crawl around and pretend like we're spies if you want.
There are so many fun, outrageous things in this movie, like when they go get a tan.
I was just about to bring that up.
Some of the wildest comedy I've ever
So
seen.
let's just break down that entire sequence for a second here.
Yes.
So Luther surprises Nora with a 12 visits. Is it 12 or 16?
It's $12, $60 worth of visits to the tanning booth. Why do you need to get tanned 12 times?
Well, you need, like he says, this part makes sense. You need a base coat for the tan when you go to the Caribbean.
Oh, if they're very pale, you're gonna get what? Sunburnt?
Yeah, which,
I don't know.
Sure, makes sense.
I've never had to deal with that problem in my life.
They go into this tanning room, this tanning salon, and Jamie Lee Curtis hates it. She's wearing a bikini that is 4 sizes too small.
And it's very revealing, once again, for
PG
a rated PG movie.
She gets into her, what do you call it? Booth. Thank you.
Tanning booth.
Fuck you. Closes it. And what's the worst thing that can happen? A random man walks in and sees her.
Not just a random man, but like a random man that just stands there after being surprised.
Sorry.
I've been walked in on like in a bathroom stall while like pooping.
Okay.
And someone like was like, "Oh shit," and just stared at me for a while before like leaving the stall.
They froze because what are they, deer? They get scared?
I'm pooping. So that's exactly what happened with Jamie Lee Curtis. The guy was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She bangs her head against the booth. And he stands there for like a good 10 seconds before he's like, "I should leave."
Wouldn't you?
No, because she banged her head. Like, that's weird.
She did. He should have tried to help her. Then he could have gotten a whole bunch of looks.
That guy was creepy.
Just to make it even worse, she goes out to try and find a Band-Aid. And guess who just happens to be walking past the tanning salon?
The priest.
The father of their church, who has heard that they're skipping Christmas. It's weird that everybody's super offended by this.
I hear you're not observing Christmas
this year. What
if
is
someone
that
says
about?
like observing a holiday, you really take that holiday seriously.
And why couldn't they have just been like, "Oh yeah, but you know, we'll still go to church." Just lie. Nobody can tell a lie in this movie.
Here, the movie would never have happened if they just set up Christmas decorations and then disappeared on the day of.
Like I said, for $4,000, this whole movie could have been avoided.
Yo, but could it have been avoided because they're known to throw apparently the biggest rager every December 24th.
But you know what? It's the first year without their kids. They're allowed to not throw a party just for the sakes of the Johnsons. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
They get a year off if they wanted. But
everyone's crazy.
Everybody's still prepared for the party because as we find out later, when they do have to put on the party for Blair, there's people cooking 2 turkeys. There's people who have an extra Christmas tree. Yeah. There's people who are like ready with bottles of wine. Like they're ready.
They knew that there was a chance it was going to happen.
We should probably stock up just in case.
They all freaked out. They're just like, well, what are we going to do on Christmas Eve?
Yeah. Like I don't know, spend it with your fucking family.
Spend time with your family,
Go
man.
visit Pat and Bev.
It's Pat, Walt and Bev. I'm always going to come back to them because they are just so heartwarming. Like, even Bev's acting chops, incredible. Like, I love Bev. Not a lot of dialogue between them and Luther and Nora, but the dialogue that they have, it's very impactful, man. Yeah. This movie deserves way more than a 5%. So
at least 6.
I'm going to look at Rotten Tomatoes right now in the camera.
I'm going to also look at Rotten Tomatoes in the camera.
And Baddies listening in your car or listening at home or watching this on YouTube, go to Rotten Tomatoes and say, fuck you.
I think, or you can vote for this movie to be better. I think because it's a community-based thing.
Oh, yeah. At least on the user ratings. Yeah, you're right.
So, of course, Blair's on her way home, and they're trying to set up this party all in a rush. They're going to the store. Jamie Lee Curtis has this great scene where she's trying to buy hickory smoked ham and does get one, but then it gets run over by a truck driving incredibly close to the sidewalk.
Why is this? I feel like I've seen this in the past, 5 movies I've seen. Something valuable
goes into the street, and then a truck just...
I've never once seen that in my life.
No, why is that truck driving down that...
But every single writer for any Hollywood movie is just like, you know what would raise the stakes a bit?
You know what happens all the time? What? When you drop something, and then a truck comes and runs it over. It's like, yeah.
Because I just watched 8-Bit Christmas, which is very new. And so, Baddies, if you have not seen this yet, this is a spoiler alert, so skip over.
Yeah, it's fun, but they definitely...
But in that, he eventually gets the Nintendo... And
it gets run over.
Run over by a truck.
Forgot about that, yeah.
Always gets run over by a truck.
Before we go too far, what did you think of 8-Bit Christmas?
I loved it.
I really enjoyed it too, actually. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
I knew I was going to like it a lot because I knew it was going to be about getting a Nintendo. So.
Oh, I had no idea.
And it had Neil Patrick Harris and it's HBO.
All about NPH, bro.
Yeah.
So Blair's on her way home. They haven't finished setting up the party. Dewey has a police scanner and is able to contact the police officers and be like, you need to stall him. And that's when they find the burglar? Yeah. I don't know why I'm struggling with simple words. They find the burglar. They put him in the backseat with Blair and Enrique. Or as they say, Enrique. And Cheech doesn't know how to spell the name Enrique. That's why I think that role was written for a fat white person.
Guy. He didn't correct his cis white friend.
He's just as bad as his friend.
Yeah. You are part of the problem, Cheech.
Silence is violence.
Because, that is offensive. Right? And okay, the fact that I laughed at it, there's going to be some woke ass.
Well, this movie was made in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But I think it passed. I thought it was a really funny joke.
it's still good. It still works. They do arrive at the party, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, Blair," and then they meet Marty, who is, as we find out later.
Yo, Marty gave off some like really creepy vibes at first.
He gave off really nice person vibes, but you know why he knew all that stuff?
Because he was the umbrella Santa.
He's actually Santa. He gets in his VW bug, and then the closing right before the credits come, the bug is being pulled by reindeer.
I never got to finish that movie.
What?
Well, because like I told you that the power went out here,
man.
and so I took some time to like fix up the studio, but I didn't get to watch the last like 5 minutes.
At the very what's the last thing you saw?
The last thing I saw was him leaving and saying Santa always has to work on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and then he leaves, right? And then the very closing scene is that VW bug that he's driving being pulled by reindeer.
Whoa!
And did you notice what Marty brought to the party?
Ham.
A hickory smoked ham.
Because he knew that's exactly what they needed.
That's what Bev loves.
Yes.
Better than smoked trout.
She was ready to punch Andy Daly. You saw Andy Daly in this?
That is Andy Daly, right?
Yeah,
Without
man.
glasses.
Yeah.
And Matt Walsh, we mentioned, is in this film.
Yeah, he has one line.
The 2004 ensemble is now the 2021 leading cast.
Yes. It's the next class. The next graduating class just like came up, right?
Remember when they were freshmen? Check out Christmas with the Kranks.
Well, now they're seniors and they're about to graduate. It's pretty incredible. Marty, they could have made him less creepy. I started to trust him a bit more when he started talking to Enrique in Spanish.
Yeah, that was very kind. He's like,
I was like, okay, that's cool.
guitar.
Yeah, of course, Enrique is singing and getting real comfortable. I was waiting for him to fuck up.
Marty?
No.
Oh, Enrique.
Enrique.
No, he has to win him over. He has to make it good. Mm-hmm. I did like that they have a really good song together, and then like someone's playing a pan flute, and then Dan Akroyd shows up with an accordion. And immediately, as soon as they're done singing that beautiful Spanish song, he's like, "All right, back to English." And he's like,
"That's the only Spanish song we know." Feliz Navidad.
Culture. It wasn't even Feliz Navidad.
Oh, it was something completely different.
It was like a Peruvian song. So
the fact that Peruvian song was in their repertoire, impressive. You only need one.
Marty knows all.
Yeah.
Marty knows all.
Dan Akroyd, like you said prior to recording, is the hero of this movie.
Gets no credit at all for it.
There is a point where Tim Allen finally tries to put up Frosty up on the roof.
What? Because Blair's going to be home in 8 hours.
The roof tiles are just slipping off as he's trying to... He's never done this before. But he almost dies.
Yes.
He's like being held by a wire via his ankle. And at that point, he's like, fuck it, I need your guys' help. And so he's sitting like in the back of an ambulance. Dan Akroyd is like asking him, like, hey, what happened?
He's doing the thing of like, Blair's coming home. Blair's coming home. And what do you have for dinner? Smoked trout? Smoked trout.
And then everyone's like, smoked trout. The fact that he's the town's spokesperson is incredible.
He's the self-elected mayor.
Yeah. For that street.
Yeah, for sure.
For Hemlock.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you. I watched this movie not too long ago.
Just like when you told me you'd never seen it before?
Yeah.
So he does save the day. He gets them everything. A Christmas tree, a turkey, bottles of wine, decorates their house, gets everything set up, gets the police to go pick up Blair. You know, he is the reason why they have a party, and nobody thanks him.
No, not one person.
They make multiple speeches, or actually Nora makes a big long speech about how they're super grateful to have Blair home, and she's like, thank you for the community. But she should have been like, and special thanks to Vic Frohmeyer.
Yeah, he didn't get one special thanks.
And I will say, after she does that really heartwarming speech, Tim Allen's response is, the same goes for me double. Which is something, when I realize I say that all the time, but I didn't realize I got it from this movie until I just rewatched it.
Now you have to expand your horizons and actually think of a way to thank person. You can't just steal someone else's
Same
speech.
goes for me double.
People are going to be like, did you hear what Alex said? He just said that douchey thing.
No, but he said the same thing, but double.
Yeah, and do you know what the audience response must have been in the theater? Tim Allen's a douche.
He does go into the kitchen and start drinking alone.
Yeah, he's like slightly wine drunk already.
And because and Jamie Lee Curtis hits it on the head. She's like, you're still upset that we're not going to go on the cruise.
And he's like, we can still make
We can
it.
still do it, which is completely true.
It is true.
You're telling me Blair and Enrique wouldn't want the house to themselves?
I don't think so quite yet. I think they get enough time at they just fucked a bunch of the rainforest.
But they're intense, dude.
Oh, so they're still gonna sleep in their own room. What are they gonna fuck all over the house?
It's a PG movie. Relax.
Whoa, you're the one setting me up for this. I don't think that they would need it. Anyway.
So he is upset that they can't go. And then he kind of like gets that glimmer of hope thinking that they can go.
Yeah.
And then here's the part where I really love Luther. When he goes across the street to go give the entire package to Bev and Walt.
Yeah.
And he has this like little speech for them where he's like, look, we can't go. Like, you got to take the tickets. I'm like, no, we really can't do that. And he's like, well, it's already been paid for. He's like, we can't get the money back. You have to take it. And they're like, well, our names aren't on the ticket. And he's like, I'll take care of that. Don't worry about it.
He says, Walt, Bev, this is a no strings attached gift from our hearts that we just want to give to you. And Walt's acting, both of their actings, Walt and Bev's, their acting of like trying to find an excuse was so realistic. It's just like, well, and they're actually, in my opinion, more complex of characters than Luther and Nora.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They have so much hidden that you slightly pick up throughout the movie of like, wow, like Bev, her cancer came back, right? Is what it is.
Yep.
Might be her last Christmas. And
Woof.
Benny, who is their son, I'm assuming, right? They talk about.
Never comes home for Christmas.
They're always like, Benny said he might come home tomorrow. And he was like, let's face it. He hasn't come home in years. And it's just like this whole interaction. There's something just so touching with this. Like, and you see it all the time with this common trope of a change of heart between like frenemies, right?
Frenemies. That's the best way to describe these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's Walt is so good, and I was wondering like what I've seen him in. He's been in over 200 films.
He looks like the perfect Mr. Scrooge.
That's what I was looking for.
But I don't think he's ever played Scrooge.
Why was he never casted? They should have casted him after this.
Immediately after, they should have been like, let's remake A Christmas Carol.
After that scene, can you imagine like the last scene in A Christmas Story where they would
Christmas
Carol. I'm sorry,
the last scene in A Christmas Story when he finally gets his BB gun. I would like to see Walt with a BB gun.
No. He's gonna shoot at all the young kids.
Shoot his eye out.
But he eventually they have to, like what you said with sitcoms. They don't keep the tension for long. They don't keep the sadness for long. They have to like, okay, now let's bring in the joke. Once they hand the cat over to Tim Allen. And then immediately afterwards, Tim Allen goes home, and that's when the robber falls down on the car, and it gets all
I think the movie probably should have ended there when they give the tickets to...
Yeah. And like he should have just gone back to the party, and then they should have zoomed out via
and then, or even do the Santa Claus conversation where he's like, Santa always works on Christmas Eve, because I love the fact that Marty's actually Santa Claus.
Yeah. Still creepy.
I don't know why he's selling umbrellas, though. Shouldn't he be getting ready for Christmas? I can't hold it anymore. I gotta pee. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Usually better when we have a guest here, but if you want to talk without me.
No, I'd rather not.
I got a question for you, and I don't mean to be too morbid.
What?
Do you think Bev and Walt make it to the cruise?
Yeah. She's not gonna die tomorrow.
Good.
Unless there is a car crash.
On the way to the airport?
Exactly. Or if the plane crashes, or if the cruise sinks. That's the only way she's going to die.
Or they get COVID on the cruise ship.
2004.
Okay, the flu.
Flu shots exist. It's December. Everyone got their flu shot at the beginning of December.
Good for you.
Hopefully.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Okay.
What's
First
up?
time you've ever seen this movie.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll watch it again at Christmas time?
Yeah, it's gonna be something that, and I say this for a lot of movies, that I throw on in the background. And when it's a moment that I really like, then I'll turn my head.
Well, you said something really interesting to me today, just before we started recording, is you said you like to eat and watch stuff while you eat, right?
Yeah.
You even made the point to say, like, you don't even want to have a conversation with your girlfriend.
Whoa. Slow it down, cowboy.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to put you on blast.
Putting some sensitive information out there.
That's not the part that I'm trying to get at. The point is, like, you do like to watch and do stuff at the same time.
Is this a movie that I'd watch that I'd watch while eating?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what you just said. You'd have it on in the background.
Yeah, but I'll watch most things while eating. I mean, yeah.
I'm not trying to make it. I'm on your side. I'm not trying to make this.
What a crazy
you got weirdly
segue.
defensive, and now I don't know how we got there. I wasn't attacking at all.
Oh, I'm not sensitive to it. Don't worry. I'm just fucking with you.
Weird. Run it back. You'll see that you are. I think everyone should have this in their repertoire. Right after Elf ends, you should put on Christmas with the Kranks.
That. What else?
Yeah, I'll tell you why I always put Elf and Christmas with the Cranks and Jingle All the Way together in my head.
Why?
Because they were so good that they didn't need a sequel. I know Jingle All the Way does have a sequel, but it doesn't count.
A sequel with Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't count.
Which is why it's so upsetting.
It's not at all Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, this one.
It's a standalone film.
If they had a sequel, what would it be?
Blair and Enrique's kid.
I'm not trying to watch that. Enrique's gonna be an alcoholic father.
Whoa!
I just don't like the guy.
You really don't like Enrique?
Nah, man.
You think Blair's better off with like maybe Jake Busey?
No, I think she's an independent woman that needs to focus on herself. It was her first time traveling by herself to a foreign country, and she ended up. They're about to get married.
Did you catch that the only reason why she joined the Peace Corps was to be with him?
Weak.
For the romantic, you are hating their like love story, their star-crossed lover story.
It's not a good love story.
It's not Romeo and Juliet.
It definitely is not. How much would they really do for each other? Oh, you in the rainforest? Get out of town.
Get out of town. She literally had to.
She had to get out of town and then come back by herself.
Rate it, my friend. You've never seen this film. Do you think you'll rate it high? Do you think you'll rate it low? Do you think you'll rate it off the scales? Let's try a different scale. Rate it on the scale of 4 fish to 10 bears. 10 bears being the best, 4 fish being the worst.
It doesn't translate well with me, but I'm going to say like
6 beavers.
Shut up. That's confusing me so much. I'm just going to say a 3.5 out of 5 for me.
That's a solid. Yeah, I think as a man who loves the Cranks.
It was a solid 3 for me, but with that scene with Walt and Bev.
Walt and Bev get a point all on their own for sure.
Yeah. My best person on set is Walt.
David Hornsberry. Oh.
Emmett Walsh, I believe is his name.
Is he Matt Walsh's dad?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I just like that they have. He is related to Pete Walsh, though.
Matt Walsh?
No, I don't know. I'm just making this up. My best person on set award is David Hornsby, Rickety Cricket, because he only has 2 lines, but he's always holding a beer.
Is he your best person on set? Is he the best person on set?
Because I've seen this movie for the last 17 years, and I never realized that was him until last night.
Wow.
17 years I've been watching this film. I've never realized that was him. And to the point where I was even like, that can't be him. I would have known if that's him by now. I went and looked it up, and sure enough, it is. I feel
like you barely even see his face. He just gets electrocuted a bunch of times. He watches his dad get electrocuted.
When you do see his face, it's very clearly.
It's obviously.
Yeah, Rickety Cricket.
Oh, okay.
And I'm allowed to pick whoever I want.
Yeah, don't let me influence.
Although, and a special shout out to whoever designed the set. I guess I get some credit for that.
That's a really cool fact that you dropped there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Also, in the scene when Jamie Lee Curtis is fleeing, and the kids are pulling a Frosty across the street, when the camera cuts, there's already a Frosty on that side of the street. So where are they taking that extra Frosty?
No clue, huh? What's going on with Frosty in general? Because Frosty's evil.
The one that they have is.
The one in the basement
has like glowing red eyes.
Like I said, this movie's one death away from being a horror movie.
And we almost see that death multiple times.
Frosty almost kills them in the basement, I think.
That guy almost falls off the roof and dies.
Yeah.
The burglar almost gets shot.
Yup.
It's America.
The problem is America.
The problem is America. No, but like I said, white suburban problems.
Yeah, man.
Like the fact that they're just like, what if we just don't do Christmas and save $3,000? It's like, oh, you have that ability. What a great problem.
The only movie where I'm going to see people complain about smoked trout
is this, and the movie Smoked Trout.
Is there a movie?
No.
It's like, what? Yeah, that you're right. I think this is just white suburban problems.
Which family would you rather spend Christmas with? The Who's, Cindy Lou Who, and her 2 brothers and her mom and dad.
Or the Cranks?
Or the Cranks.
Cindy Lou Who.
Really? Because that crank party looked like fun.
Yeah, but did you see the party at the beginning of...
the Whovelation.
No, not even that one. So, do you remember when Grinch first lands into the village and they have that rager there?
The key party.
The key party. That's the one I want to go to. I want to see what's up.
So you want to hang out with the Grinch's 2 lesbian moms?
Yeah. See what's up with them.
Yeah, find out some real stuff.
Yeah, these are just like basic ass bitches over at the Cranks. They're just like
beautiful neighborhood though.
Beautiful neighborhood. That's fun, but also crazy neighbors. You go to Whoville, they're all on the same page, man.
They're all the same amount of crazy.
All the same amount.
Here, everyone's on different levels of crazy.
Yeah, basically. And so I'm a man of consistency. And so that's what I'm looking for.
As am I. Would you ever skip Christmas?
No, never.
Really? I wouldn't mind skipping it once.
They didn't have to say, let's skip Christmas. I mean, you could still celebrate Christmas on a cruise.
Oh, totally. And the cruise ship is going to be like, Merry Christmas, guys. We have a tree up and shit. Like, the cruise is not going to, like, not do Christmas.
Unless the cruise line is
Jewish.
specifically, yes, associated with a different observation of a different religion. It's gonna celebrate Christmas.
They celebrate, like, even dumb holidays on cruise ships just for an excuse to have a party.
Like what?
Like, they'll be like, today's the 5th day of June. Everybody gets beer or something.
Like, okay, Juneteenth is, what's Juneteenth? That has something to do with, like...
June 8th. It's the day that the slaves in Texas found out that they were free.
Oh, that's a great holiday. Okay, I'm sorry.
It was a couple years after they were already free. That's the hard part about it.
Okay.
It was like, you guys were already free. But hey, more power to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love it. Like I said, I'm probably going to watch this film another 2 times before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm going to laugh just as much as I did the very first time I watched it. And I'll cry a little bit, just like the first time I watched it. And then I'll laugh a little bit.
It's cool. No, I'm glad that I brought this up to you because I had you in mind when I brought it up. I was like, I know that you love this movie. Let's just do it.
And I had just rewatched The Santa Claus with also Tim Allen. And also a really funny movie. Kind of still holds up.
Funny enough to have as many sequels as it has.
No,
right? There's like 3 or 4.
There's 3, and they progressively get worse and worse and worse.
As
I've
does
never
any
even
sequel.
never even seen the 3rd one, to be honest with you.
Whoa, you should try it.
I mean,
Give it a chance. If you don't really like the second one, maybe the 3rd one picks it back up.
I like the idea of the 3rd one because there's a little bit of a time travel idea of it. They go back to the first movie, and I'm all about time travel. Just watched Looper the other day. I love it.
That's crazy. I want to watch Looper so bad.
Such a good movie.
I want to watch it so bad.
Bad costume, good movie.
Even though Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
JGL.
yes, even though he has like this weird Bruce Willis cosmetics on, I'm fine with it, man. They tried. It's still a dope concept.
It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. And Paul Dano's in it.
And you know how we feel about Paul Dano.
And what's his name? Jeff Daniels.
He's incredible too.
And Emily Blunt.
Unstoppable cast.
Star-studded.
All right. Baddies.
Let's go watch Looper, dude.
Let's watch it now.
This.
All right, Baddies, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out our Tuesday episode. And our new merch is finally up and live. I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. This is a purple splatted shirt by Greg Saleas, previous guest and good friend of the podcast.
Have we come up with a name for the purple shirts?
No, not yet, but
grape juice?
You'll see it on the website. And rather than coming up with it live, I think we should just figure it out on our own.
Yes. I'm wearing a sweatshirt from Disneyland, which we are not selling on our store, but I'm cold today.
Yeah, it's pretty cold outside. So stay warm, Baddies, and stay happy. You got anything else?
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, guys.
You know the stuff, guys. Follow us on Instagram at call_me_Jesus, at
Christian has asthma.
Follow the podcast at ICBTB podcast. As always, guys, send us an email if you have nobody to talk to at Christmas. We'll talk to you at Christmas. ICBTB podcast at yahoo.com.
I'm going to be busy.
And how about this?
What?
We should leave the baddies with one piece of bad advice.
When you hydroplane,
turn away from the...
just like, point up to Jesus and be like, you got the wheel.
That's why you're hydroplaning, because you're over here like, ah! The same goes for me double.
Stop.
Can't be that bad, oh, it 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 can't be that bad.